Hey, Luke, you've had stretches where the defense has been consistent, game after game after game. You had it last night for the most part. How do you try to lock that in, and how has that worked for the stretches that you've had of consistent play over game after game?
Well, it's one of those things in this league with the schedule, the amount of games you play, that it's hard to become consistently a really good defensive team. And especially when you're learning to become one. I think that's why as a team you see teams that are together for a long time, they're able to do that because it just becomes second nature to them. So we're still preaching what's important to us. We're building our culture, the defensive coverages, the coverage, what our terminology for everything. This is all stuff that we're learning on the go, and we're getting reps at it. We get better, but then you go through stretches without practice, or guys get hurt or traded, whatever it is, and then you got to kind of take a couple steps back and start over again. So normally we play pretty good defense when we have practice time to really drill it, and then we come out and play well.
There were a lot of times earlier in the season we had discussions about Julius and playing time and starting versus bench. Has his play, especially these last couple months, has that changed anything that you thought heading into the season about his role and kind of where he can go in the league in the future, or is it what you expected?
Well, he's a young player still, and we've always, I tell Julius all the time, one of the reasons I'm as hard on him as I am is because I really believe he can be a special player in this league. He's got the strength and the size and the skill set that he can be a dominant player. And I continue to challenge him, and he's done a really, really impressive job of responding to that and taking his game to another level right now.
You see the league has gone smaller, and how does Julius fit into that as somebody who's big but yet not a classic big? Can that help him even more if the league continues to try to go small? Can you use him as a bigger advantage almost?
Absolutely. It's because of his speed, quickness, and strength, he's able to defend. That's the biggest part, I think. That will allow him to have such, depending on how much success he has in his career, is how great of a defender he can become. And he's got the ability to guard 1 through 5, and with that, as the league goes smaller, he's still able to defend skilled space shooters, and he's able to wrestle with power post-up players, and then he can use his skill set and his strength on defense if they're going to try to guard him with smaller players. So there's definitely the advantage to be gained, but a lot of it that he's gotten pretty darn good at is also being able to recognize multiple defensive coverages. Because of the way that the league is going, you have to be able to be in deep drops. You have to be able to switch. You have to be able to show and know, depending on who you're guarding, what that coverage is. And he's done a really nice job of getting better with that.
One thing that you guys used to talk about with him a little bit was the consistency of, not necessarily effort, but the energy and all that stuff. Have you, lately, as he's been playing so well, has that been something that's been at a more consistent level?
Yeah, he's done a good job of that all year, and that is something that since we got here, we've tried to work with him on and show him visually, on tape and whatnot, of what he looks like when he's playing at that level. And he's done a really nice job all year of kind of starting to make that just the normal way that he plays basketball. And it doesn't mean going 100 miles an hour the whole time he's out there, but it means when he's in a defensive coverage, he's down and he's ready to jump people. And when he's on offense, it's not just a jog to the three-point line, but it's a sprint to the post and then relocate from there. So he's doing a much better job of doing that consistently.
How many plays do you actually call for him offensively? Or is it a lot of his scores just come kind of like in the flow of things?
He's got a couple play calls, not many, but it's a lot of how we want to play and we want to get better at playing is being able to play in the randomness of what basketball is, and doing that with an understanding of structure and knowing where to go and how to play off of each other. It's much more difficult to defend when you're just playing basketball. You know, when we know what the other team's running and we know the play set, we know the call, then it's easier for us to load up our defense and take certain things away. So he's got a few play calls. We like to get him down on the block, and then we like to use him sometimes to set, to screen away because his man won't guard him out by the three-point line to get our shooters some shots. But a lot of it he does just within the flow of playing.
Well,
your experiment with the three-point shooting, you had, I think it was like last November when I was down there, you talked about having the players shoot X number of threes for a month and chart it, and you're going to check the data on it.
Yeah.
Did you see any improvement?
It got better. Weird, right?
Yeah.
Shoot more, practice better, shot goes in more. Although I can't say it really worked with the free throws. It did work with but the free throws to me was always more of a mental thing, which it normally is. All our guys are very skilled, capable free throw shooters that, that's something you gotta step up and knock down. But the three-point shooting went up.